All right, what's going on, guys? This is Logan with West Desert Wheeler, trying to navigate my way down a cliff here. And today we've got out the MOA. So we're gonna go try and hit some really hard lines, and we are in a different area than normal. I asked you guys to help me name this almost a year ago, and you guys came up with Coyote Canyon. So that's where we're at today. Let's check out the MOA and see what we can run it up. All right, guys, here's my RC4 drive Bully 2 MOA. I've had this car for a few months now, and I keep having issues where I'm breaking axle shafts. So we may end up breaking something on the car today, who knows? But I'm still learning how these cars work and react, and honestly, it still does amazing things that I'm very surprised by. So I need to get out and practice with it more so that I can, use the car to its full abilities. So throwing it in front dig here, I do have front dig only on this car. My controller is the Spectrum Rugged, and I'm just unable to do rear burns with this controller. It's not smart enough to tell it what to do because there are two ESCs and motors on this car. So you have to tell your controller to mix the throttle input channels. Let's see if we can burn this over a little bit. Our rear tires are getting real trapped in here. I may need to reverse. So your controller has to tell both ESCs to work off the same trigger, and then I can tell it to shut down the rears if I want. But certain controllers can tell the ESCs to shut down the front, and you can do rear wheel drive only. And it's to help maneuver the car around in crazy spots. I might need to do a full reset here. Guess we'll just drive straight up out of this pocket over here and try that again. So these cars are very capable. They can do a lot of cool stuff, and you can see the suspension squat down there. When I put it in front wheel drive only, the rears are dragging and it sinks the car and the chassis down to the ground. Super cool. These things will side hill like crazy. The chassis doesn't hold anything except for two ESCs, and they are the Holmes BR Minis. So they are very light, they're very small. I've also got a receiver in the chassis. And then the motors and transmissions and my servo and my battery are all on the axles. So it's pretty cool what these cars can do. Yeah, let's drive the rear a little higher before we bring the front back over. Now let's try and bring the front back up. Maybe need to go a little further forward actually. And these things are a little strange to drive compared to everything else I have, which is mechanically driven, because if the front tires get bound up, the rear tires only will start to spin, or if I get the rears bound up, then all of a sudden only the front tires spin. And so it acts a little bit different than all my other cars, in addition to being super capable and just capable of hanging on a tire while driving over rocks. Let's go find another spot. So one thing I've really been interested in the last few days is the sporty cars. So they look very similar to an MOA. They got the big pin tires, but they're different as in they've got a transmission and motor mounted in the chassis, and so then they have a drive shaft. But they are highly modified and look way different than any like regular chassis truck. Even the chassis themselves look more like the MOA car here. So I want to try and pick one of those up because I think that's going to give me that mechanical feel back. And then there's no dig or anything in the competition, so the car I get will likely not have that. But I would like to pick up a sporty. They call them sporties or shafties. So here we go, getting real vertical in here. You do a front burn and drop that tire into the crack, and then kind of turn back into it in four-wheel drive again. And use that front steering with full advantage. Very steep on top of a big climb here. So if the car goes over backwards, it's got a long way down to go. So again, gonna try and get these tires to bite on right there. Okay, this is a good one. I like this. The top tire will really get a bite, but once I go too far, once it has that bite, it dips the axle down into the rock. So there it is. And I mean, look at this, guys. This car is almost vertical. And it'll eat it up as long as I do my part. So there it goes. Very nicely done. So as I mentioned, this has Holmes Hobbies brushless ESCs in there, the BR Minis. It's got two of them to control each motor. and then they are fused together. I actually have never pulled those apart to really look at them. This car I purchased built, so I didn't build this car, so I'm not the most experienced with the MOAs. Had my buddy Thomas over at Fab 801 give me a hand in selecting one for sale, and I really liked this car. It's been solid. There we go, nice and controlled, looking good on the way down. And to go along with those Holmes Hobbies ESCs, this does have Holmes Polar 500 motors on each axle, and they're the 13XX. So I think it's a 5-slot motor, 13 turn, and they are powerful and they are really smooth on the low end. And I didn't realize at the time when I purchased it just how nice of motors those are. Retail on those is over $150 a piece on these motors. And oh yeah, this car has 2 motors, so quite a bit of money in electronics in this bad boy. But the car performs awesome, it drives great. It's like right here, we'll burn around and drop off of this. The rears are gonna kind of let go as we go. And then burn it right back around. And then we're gonna go shoot up this crack. Wonder if YouTube algorithm is like, why the hell is this guy talking about shooting up crack? Again, very steep. So the front tire is up in the air here, but the passenger front, if you can call it that, has lots of traction. So as I go front only, give it some throttle, should pull it back into that rock. We're articulating here. There we go. Got the front end to settle. Once those tires load up with traction, grab 4-wheel drive, and it'll cruise right up. And we'll even try this wall right over here. Get the front up and the front burn. And then we're gonna let that rear come up and take this on a bit of an angle on the way out. This wall is actually perfect shape for that. Belly just cleared, not a problem. Up and out on that climb. All right, this one looks pretty wild. We're gonna try and drive down here and then drop off this wall, swing around and see if we can't get up through this overhang and this ledge. This is like pushing beyond what I think the car is capable of. The crack will be very difficult, as well as this drop is very steep and it's a lot longer than the car is, so like it's pretty serious. There's a good amount of traction here though, so we're gonna see what this car will handle. Perfect, made it look easy. So we got a bush in our way. I don't know how I want to handle that. Let's get around here. Maybe we'll drive the crack further down and then side hill into the next one. Bring that front end up on top, 4-wheel drive, front burn again. Get that rear up and balanced. Bring it all the way up the top. Burn around. And these things handle side hills so well. Oh, okay, we're in trouble. Need to back up. Okay. Bring the rears up a little higher before we come down in here, and I'm going to drive this straight up into the wall ahead of it and then burn the front across and drop it into the crack. So we're leaving it in 4-wheel drive, bringing that front end up. Now we're going to go front only. We're just going to balance it on 2 tires through here, grab 4-wheel drive. I'm just going to miss the overhang with that front tire. And so this car has the stock weights in the front axle. I don't have any weight hangers or anything real crazy like that. Yeah, keep going, keep going. I need these tires to really bite on here. Okay, the fronts are good, but that rear's in real trouble. Yeah, that rear's completely under that wall. So this is where I wish I had rear burn. I would back it up out of there. Oh, buddy. Whew. It did it. I thought I heard a click somewhere. Might have broke a pin or something. Ah, I didn't go high enough on that climb. Okay, finally got high enough. Got the front landed again. I'm kind of just letting the rear stay locked, and I'm just trying to get so much traction with the front that it just drags the rear in. That rear tire is just floating here, guys. Ah, damn. All right, well, this one may not be possible. We'll give it another try on another day. Now these cars are exceptionally capable in boulder piles. That's where you'll see the biggest difference between these and any other standard car with like C-channel chassis or something, which is kind of where my main audience comes from, so that's why I'm referencing that the most. If you're an MOA guy, you know this. But bringing this front end up, just the clearance on the chassis itself, the big tire is able to span gaps compared to the smaller 475 stuff. And a reverse front burn here. And then we're going to bring this front end across into this crack. We're going to try and drive up into here. And there's a huge aftermarket for these cars. Deluxe makes just about anything you could want for these cars. So I've got some weight hangers for my front knuckles, but I need different wheels to make them work, which would really change how this car reacts. So I should probably get on that, right? Keep that front end up. Burn it here. I need to keep enough of the front end in there to hold the car down, because that rear is coming over an overhang and it's going to want to try and flip it over backwards. But if I hold the front tires in just right, okay, well, I'm going to catch the ledge on the back right to help me with the rear coming up. So you can see it's all leaned over and ugly. Let's do a front burn, try and get this front end to bite a little harder. Come on, car. Whoops. All right, so let's try a different angle on this then. See if we can bring it up this, and that'll get our rear set up in a totally different spot. This line itself is crazy, man. I love these cars, they're so fun. Yeah, now we're lined up much better. I may need to just avoid this crack and just drive up the face of that other rock, because this car will do it. See if we can figure this out. There she goes. There she goes. No. Man, I thought I was going to walk up this part. That's crazy. I wonder if the MOA guys are out there knowing exactly what I need to do, but I'm just not doing it. I I think that's kind of the line right there. That, yep, go, 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 go. Front burn. Get a hold of it, car. Okay, well, I guess we'll just exit right. That wasn't my plan, but it wanted it, so we took it there. Holy cow, man. Just the terrain this thing can go over is insane. Yeah, I need a sporty. And something I've noticed is the full-size buggy guys, if they're into RC, they're into MOAs. They don't like the class 2 stuff, the scale stuff. They want ultimate performance, just like their real cars, which I find that really interesting. I know a few of them that are into MOAs. Okay, there we go. Now let's try dropping out of this crazy crack. These MOA videos end up being long just because I get out here and it's always fun to run these things, and I just try these crazy lines that take a bunch of tries, and I'm not apologetic for it. If you guys like the content, you get a lot of it, so I need to run it more, really. Oh, look at that car. Rear tire is oververt. So we'll burn the front out a little, as much as we can. Oh yeah, we brought her down. There's a fly on my face. Dude, this thing is not getting off my face. Damn. All right, crazy. And like very controlled, easily drove out of that. Here we go, continuing on down this little crack. And then we're gonna hit the bottom after one more. And then we're gonna go back up one. Drive it up. There she is. There she is. Take a little reset on this. Those rears were not where I needed them. Whoa. Hold on, front. Nice. Just timed it perfect with that front tire really wanting to dip in there, because that thing was loaded with traction at that point. Man, I want that driver to grab. There we go. I use front burn all the time in this car, but it's electrical and not mechanical, so it works perfect every time. It's just an on-off switch. It literally is an on-off switch. That's not at all where I was trying to go. Bring it all the way back across. Luckily got a little extra weight in the front to hold the front down. Brings that front tire up. All flexed out. Do a front burn to pull that front right up and over that hump. Grab four-wheel drive to push the rears up as we get that traction. Front only to try and get me out of a bind a little bit. All right, she got it. Killer. So sick. This thing's so fun, man. Like just on this little patch of rocks here, so many lines. I can point it in any direction and it'll go up it. And so like a lot of people think these are just cheater cars and that they're not any fun because they'll drive over anything. That's not true. It still has to adhere to the laws of physics and gravity. So what you do is you just try way crazier stuff. And then you do wild lines like this. I'm gonna try and grab the inside sidewall on that upper ledge that I just broke off. And then hang the car off that front tire. No, it's not quite working. Guess it's just gonna drive up it. Yep, there she went. Went up and over that ledge. Ridiculous. So now we're back to the ledge we started on. We're gonna come down on a way different path. Bring the front end high. So when the rear comes down, see, when you get flexed out like this and you do a front burn, a lot of the time it tries to flex out and lift the tire high up into the air. Like right here, it's gonna want to do it. Okay, we got it set down. Just turning, drop me off the ledge. Front only, 4-wheel drive. And then we'll just chase this out. That front tire lifted in the air, rears are dropping as we swing around. Nicely done with the MOA. All right, guys, last one, and then I'm gonna take off for the day. But I hope you enjoyed the content. Let me know if you like the MOA stuff. Let me know if you have any questions about it. I will do my best to answer them. Like I say, I'm not the expert in the MOAs, but I do certainly have a good time driving them. My name is Logan with West Desert Wheeler. If you guys want to help support the channel, you can pick up a West Desert Wheeler shirt, which are linked down below, or you can use an A-Main affiliate link linked down below. And be sure to support all the links in the description. Those are companies that help make my channel possible. I appreciate you guys for watching. Thanks again for the 10K subs. I really appreciate it. Nothing I can do about that. That's all on the subscribers. So if you haven't subscribed, jump on the bandwagon. I would greatly appreciate it. We'll see you guys in the next one. Keep the rubber side down.